Hey, everybody. Hi. Oh, I should be waving back at people. Hello, 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 hello. Waiting for Curtis to join. Yes. Welcome, 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 welcome. Hey
Hey,
there.
what's going on? How are you?
I'm awesome. How are
You
you?
awesome. I'm
I
awesome as well. I'm looking forward to this.
Me too. Same here, same here. People are like joining and it's exciting. It is so exciting. So my parents are texting me right now because clearly they don't understand what live means. So if you know me, you know my parents, go ahead and help them out, please. Um, but welcome to Convos with Kaz. I am so excited. Just want to wait for a couple more people to join. Uh, you did your job with promotion, so thank you.
It's a hobby.
Yeah, right. Or no, it's a profession. Okay. So and you've got it down pat. Okay, so my mom just joined. I see her.
What's
So
going
somebody
on,
helped
Mom? How
her
you
out.
doing?
I see mommy. I see you guys. I see mommy. I see her. And so just waiting for a couple more people to join, and then I'm gonna kick it off because we talked about we're ready, and and I don't think we should wait any longer. So I'm gonna jump into this so we have plenty of time and everybody knows who you are. So let me start off by doing you a little bit of justice. Are you ready?
Okay.
All right. Hey, Kaz community, and welcome to Convos with Kaz. This is the third episode, technically, but the second episode with somebody amazing. So this is who is the amazing man I'm about to talk to. Curtis Smith is from the Bronx, New York, where they know him as Smash. You got to know him to know him. He received his associate's degree in business administration from SUNY Cobleskill, a bachelor's degree in accounting from Baruch College, where he is known as Cool Breeze. He pursued his master's in technology management at the University of Phoenix. In 1998, he moved to Atlanta, where he is known as the Captain Kurt. He has 5 brothers, 2 sons. He has been a mentor to tons of male youth in baseball. Curtis is a true sports fan whose bucket list is to go to every baseball, football, and basketball stadium in his lifetime. He is a New York Mets, Los Angeles Dodgers, Los Angeles Lakers, and of course, a New York Giants fan. In 2013, Curtis started the New York Giants group and split away in 2016 and started the brand which is taken off called NYG for Life Atlanta, which is the largest New York Giants fan club in Atlanta and second largest in the country according to meetup.com. His purpose for starting NYG for Life Atlanta was born from his desire to expand a vision to allow New York Giants fans an opportunity to meet other Giants fans. That vision expanded into the creation of the United Pro Football Fan Club of Atlanta, which was birthed from an idea to host a charity-based tailgate before the season for all NFL teams in Atlanta to meet. The first event in 2016 hosted 1,000 people. In 2017, they hosted 2,500 people. In 2018, they hosted 3,500 people. And in 2019, they hosted 5,000 people. It's pretty dope. Most recently, Curtis moved NYG for Life Atlanta to Monticello's and was provided the creative autonomy to take his vision to the next level. One of the pillars of NYG for Life Atlanta and all that Curtis does is centered around his giving back to those who are less fortunate. And prior to his mother's passing in 2017, he dedicated his life to taking care of her, and she instructed him to take care of others in and around his community. Curtis is a worshiper at the House of Effect Fitness most mornings with his name etched in the big baller pew. an Oracle Financials IT professional by day for the past 21 years, the plug that we all want to know. And after this conversation, we will all want to be his forever friend. It is with immense excitement and gratitude that I introduce the Convos with Kaz community to my friend, Curtis, the Captain, Kurt Smith. Welcome to Convos with Kaz.
Thank you. I'm gonna need you to introduce me everywhere I go. Wow, I sounded totally better than I think it is. But wow, thank you.
Sir,
Wow.
We're not gonna do that here. You sounded as amazing as you are.
Wow, thank you.
You're welcome. So you ready to ride with this convo?
I'm ready to go with it.
All right. So one of the reasons the reason why I wanted you to have a conversation with me is because I've admired you from afar for a long time. We met at the House of Effect Fitness where we both worshiped. But I saw what you were doing with this meetup and then your trajectory with what you're doing with promotions, and you're just an all-around amazing guy. So I want to thank you for joining me, because you were one of the first people, and I told this to you, that I thought about when this was a concept. And look, here we are. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
So let's jump into this. Let's talk about leadership. I believe there's just something in New York water that creates great leaders. But seriously, I do believe that we are all born leaders, and it just takes those who become standout leaders to cultivate their life story and the different experiences that they have in life and how they've made the best out of situations from adolescence to end of life. So I'm asking you, Curtis, tell us what leadership looks like from your point of view and what you look for in leaders from your NYG4Life entertainment and on the field as a coach.
Okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Okay. Can everybody else? If you guys can, yeah, I see some hearts, so people can hear you.
People can hear me? Okay, I was gonna get my headset. Basically, leadership to me is an opportunity to, one, take a challenge and start at the beginning when it's nothing and bring it all the way through. If we want to go from a biblical perspective and you look at, say, Moses was a leader who God chose to take his people, from Israel and part the Red Sea. And so he had to convince those people to endanger treacherous times and treacherous waters that he could just part this and lead them to the promised land. So being in New York, as you know, as a fellow New Yorker, that we grow up tough. We grow up fast. Nothing was given to us at all.
Concrete jungle.
It was either you was going to be a leader or you was going to be led. And growing up in a household with my 5 brothers, me being the oldest of us, my mother and father put it on me and told me that, these boys want to be just like you. They want to be just like little Curtis. So I was already thrust into leadership at that early age. So when it gets to, say, coaching and mentoring, because that's what coaching is mentoring. And, even now, I had a conversation with a young brother who I work out with yesterday. And he said, I see you as one of my mentors. So I see that I'm constantly going to be leading. And when you are a leader, you are following the assignment that God gave you.
Absolutely.
You never know exactly who that assignment is for, what that assignment is going to do. You just know that you're chosen to do it. And the key word is chosen. Not everyone is chosen. That's why they say the chosen few. Not everyone is chosen. And I had to learn maybe over the past year or so that I was blessed with the opportunity to lead people, that basically everything I do is ordained. It's nothing that I do is happenstance. I just didn't wake up and all of a sudden, no, this is something that God placed in my mind, placed in my heart. He put me in the right place at the right time. So
our steps are ordered.
Yeah, so nothing is happenstance. So every step I take is a led step. So it allows me to lead other people because I'm doing what he's asked me to do. So that's my, off the cuff version of what leadership is.
But you show it and I've only known you for a couple of years, but you've shown it in all aspects that I have seen you in, right? The first was when I met you at the House of Effect Fitness, where
Right.
that's a different type of worship there.
Right.
And it was just the encouragement that you gave. Like, come on, you could do this. And it's simple, it's kind, and it is coming from a place of love and encouragement, because it takes some tough people to be there, but it's the people that stand next to you that also lead with you, and you are one of those leaders, right? People don't have to always lead from the front. You can lead from the side, you can lead from the back, you can lead from another room. But when you have something like that, people will follow. And I don't want, there's people say leaders and followers. I don't think there's followers, but people do attach themselves to people that they see something in and want to kind of be like, or they feel like, okay, I'm attracted to this person because they make me want to be better. And I think that's what leaders do. And I see that in you. So that's why I wanted to kick that off, because I think that you are an amazing leader and you've shown that. And people will see that as we continue with this conversation in many different ways.
Well, I think, to double back on that, I think it's all about supporting people. That's what leadership is. Like you said, you're in the second row with Renata, one of my faves. I hope she's listening. And you're right next to her to the right. And if I see people struggling, or I'm struggling, I'm actually trying to support you to support me, because energy is transferable. Like you said,
Absolutely.
you don't have to lead from the front, but sometimes the people on the front dictate the energy that's going back. So
Absolutely.
again, if I see you struggling, then I'm gonna tap you. Hey, you got this, because I need you to get this, because I'm trying to get this.
And there have been many days.
Yes, and if I'm depending on you and
Yeah,
to help me get through, then I'm gonna push you so you can depend on me. So it's kind of transferable. So
it
it's
is.
all about support, and that's really something that I try to say. I never meet a stranger. I want to support everybody. I say good morning to anybody. I treat the cleaning staff at work the same as if they were the CEO.
Okay.
I'm that type of person. So
My dad always told me, I don't care if it's the janitor or the president of the company, you treat everybody the same way.
you have to, because you never know when you're going to switch roles. And that's the beautiful thing about, understanding a sense of humility, is
Yeah.
that, God has a way of humbling us. And it doesn't matter if you were 13 years old or 75 years old. We all experience some form of arrogance in some shape or form. And
Yeah.
then basically we had that, how can I say, that earth-shattering moment where we got humbled. And, that's really where I treat everybody the same way, because it's all about being humble. You never know when you're going to switch roles.
Yeah, and leaders come in all walks of life, right? We're seeing so many younger leaders, and I'm not talking about millennials. I'm talking about little kids and little things that they're doing. So you have to look at a leader, and what you said is, and I like it, leadership is transferable,
Mm-hmm.
right? I am always mindful these days of my energy. And people are like, oh, you're so inspiring and all of that. Yeah, but I also am around inspiring people.
Mm-hmm.
Because in order for me to inspire, I have to be inspired. And this is how Convos with Kaz grew. I am speaking to people that I get excited about, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to have this hard conversation when people start saying, oh, can I come on? And do you inspire me? Actually, that would probably be my question. Do you inspire me?
Well,
Do you think you inspire me?
that's good, because again, you learn, sometimes especially us from New York, we grow up, not trying to be bigger or better than anybody else,
Right.
because just for obvious reasons, you don't get robbed or whatever. It just is what it is. I'm trying to blend in. But as you get older, you realize that everyone's not meant to come along your journey with you. When you may hear something, there's something I do when I wake up in the morning, and I have a statement that says, I'm waking up on great. Like when you put the car on drive, I'm waking up on great. You can't be good and be phenomenal at the same time. So if I'm trying to do phenomenal things, I can't be around just good people. I can't be around just average people or settled people. It has to be someone that is, like, say, an Oprah Winfrey or Steve Jobs or Barack Obama. Somebody who is going to inspire me. I'll even say, all the owners I've worked for, worked with, Chef Rob, who gave him a start, and we'll probably talk about that later, all the way up to Rhonda Rivers and Dominique, and now Thomas Dixon and Mr. Bob Adams. I'm around people who inspire me. And then at the gym, I'm around great people. I worked next to you for what, 2+ years?
Yeah.
Had no idea.
I'll be back too, by the way. I'm just, taking a little hiatus.
Please come back. But I had no idea that you were, Cassie J on the radio show. I just saw you as a sister grinding, and your grind inspired me. Your grind on social media, your grind on the radio, your grind on that turf inspired me. So I try to do my best to surround myself around great people and inspire me. I mean, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're actually in the wrong room.
The wrong room.
And I don't want to be the smartest person in the room. I may want to help lead it, but I want to be led too. I need my cup to be filled up also. So I think that's a main thing, is that you can fill other people's cup up, but who's going to fill yours up and make sure that that cup is filled with inspired juice from people you're inspired by.
And that it's important. You know, that's why we're here. So let's keep it going, because we're going to talk about leadership and inspiration throughout this whole thing, because that's what this is about, right? Positivity. I'm going to read something. Our goal is to build an atmosphere for all New York Giants fans who currently live in Metro Atlanta area, but have a huge void for the culture, energy, and the vibe of being back in the tri-state area. I found that on your meetup page.
Wow, you did some research. I love it.
Have you met me?
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Because if you haven't, now you have.
I love it.
So there are, wait for it, 3,192 members in approximately 10 New York Giants meetup groups, and yours has 25% of those members. My question is, how did it all start, right? Were you eating wings on a Sunday afternoon in your living room and a thought bubble popped up and was like, this would be dope to do this every Sunday with, you know, another 826 other Go Hard Giant fans? Like, how does that, notice these numbers, how does that come up?
Wow. Well, I was actually part of another New York Giants group. This brother, Ian, he had it, and he had lost the group just for whatever reason. The renewal went to his spam mail, and then all of a sudden some guy took it and kicked us out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we were on a group text, and everyone's complaining. And I just said, you know, I'm just going to create this, and this is where we're going to meet. And I'm at the table at Twin Peaks on Piedmont, and I'm sitting there waiting for the game to come on. They're like, well, the game's not on. And they're like, well, Curtis, you know, you're the leader. You know, you created the group. You go ahead. And that's actually what led to me being thrust into where we are today, was just getting kicked out of something and not realizing that I was being kicked out for a reason, because it was going to lead me to this level of prominence, you know.
That path that's already paved for us.
So, you know, NYG, you know, we started another group, We was downtown, and it was okay. It was good. I was coaching baseball at the time and doing that. But I wasn't married to it. You know, it was this place called Bada Bing's. It was now what Breakfast and Barney's is.
Okay.
Yeah, it's down there by Grady, but it wasn't me. I didn't feel inspired to drive down there every day. The vibe wasn't me, and we did it for 2 years. It was successful, but something just wasn't right, and I felt it in my spirit. And then one night, I just heard the voice of God say, "Go." And I reached out to my leaders, my old leaders, and I sent them a message on GroupMe, and I said, God told me to go, so I'm going. Y'all can have this group, you can have the name, you can have everything. I'm leaving. I had no idea. And then I woke up to spend 24 hours with that. And then next thing you know, I'm starting the group, and the name NYG4LIFEATL came about. I decided to make it a nonprofit organization and make it so, because someone told me that it couldn't be done. And I am the last person you tell that something can't be done. So I made it my business to not make it good, but make it great. I made it my business that every day in the city of Atlanta, you're going to be reminded about what you told me could not be good. So we went to Chef Rob's, started off the first party. I don't know if you've ever been to Chef Rob's Caribbean Cafe. You know,
no, I remember though when you were doing it there.
Yeah, shout out to
wasn't like Sandy Springs or something
Sandy
like
Springs.
that?
Shout out to Robert Gale. He taught me a lot. It's a small spot. You know, I was going to be happy with 100 people. Our first watch party, we had 150. And then it went to 250. Then it went to 500. Then it went to 800. And so we took over both sides of the spot. And There, I want to change the entire dynamic of what we were doing downtown. Outside of the fact that we were doing community service downtown, because that really was the true purpose. I felt that in order for me to give back to the community, I know if I was on the side of a highway having a sign that said, please donate to my charity, you wouldn't do it.
Right.
But if I'm grabbing all these people watching football, now I got your attention. So now let's start feeding the homeless. Now let's start doing a school drive, school supplies drive. Now let's start doing Meals on Wheels and working with seniors. I felt that I had that. And I also felt that football only lasted 4 or 5 months. So I felt that there was 7 or 8 months that was just not, that we weren't networking with each other. We wasn't checking on each other. So I wanted to change the overall fabric of what the group was and make it a year-round group. So we made it, I changed everything. I made it a little bit more sexier.
Okay.
I made it so where it wasn't just a bunch of guys drinking beer. I made it so where, you know what, women love good food, they love strong drinks, and they love great music.
And we love black men too.
And that okay, but the sad part is I don't bring too many men to the parties. but overall, it's kind of like, and also women love free parking. So you got your heels on, your
Real talk.
nice. I know my homegirl Angela Davis is out there from Brooklyn with her Timbs on, so she don't wear too many heels. But either way.
But we still like to step out at the front door. Tim's are stilettos.
Yes, true.
There's nothing like that first step out the car.
That's true. But Angela's 100% Brooklyn, so I got to shout her out. So basically, that's what it was. I wanted to attract women. Because I knew that women were the fabric to any business. Outside of the fabric of the birth of a nation, you're the fabric of a business. You know, women spending is totally different than what a man spends on. Yeah. And then also, a woman can not just bring herself, but she's gonna bring 10 of her girlfriends.
Absolutely.
And then she's gonna inspire a few more men to come. So it kind of just said, okay, you know, let me change this demographic. And that's what the North Side did. The North Side changed the overall demographic, and we made it a party. You wasn't just watching football. It wasn't just the Giants showing up. We had every team showing up. And that's what, then the light bulb came on. Like, hold up. We got something special here. And we'll probably get into the plugging and how I got to the promotions piece, but that's really where NYG4Life started. It started because someone told me that I could not do something, and I made it my business. Maybe still making it my business, but I made it my business.
So watch me work. Watch me work. Let my work speak louder than my words can.
And I tell people this all the time, that I have certain phrases, I have certain things written on a notebook. And I studied Michael Jordan, I studied Kobe Bryant, and I studied great people, and they always found certain things to motivate them. And I use certain things to motivate me. I won't say what it is, but I use certain things to motivate me. And that was really what got me going, was you can't do something. The word can't is not in my vocabulary. I take the T out and just make it can, then I'll show you will, then I'll show you how, then I'll show you where, then I'll show you when, and then you'll wonder why it happened. It happened because you told me I couldn't do it.
Yeah, and then I'll charge you to come to see it in person.
Oh, you'll see it.
So, but you said something that I want to go all the way back to, right? You were saying that you heard a voice that said leave.
That's right.
And then when you left, you went to the next spot and it grew 250, 500, 800. But you know why? Because so often people don't listen, and you listened. You listened to that voice. And I said, you know, I've said this. I moved into a place 2 years ago after I got a divorce. And I said, God, I'm going to move into this place and I will listen. I'm going to learn how to sit and listen, because I did not listen for so long, and things happen. But I think when you listen, because you heard it's time to go. And when you do that, he provides even more than you can imagine. So there's a word in that. And I think, you know, we all say, oh, we're listening, I want to sit. But I think we need to really sit and not do things sometimes. And, you know, it's okay to not go out. It's okay to not go to work one day, because sometimes you have to sit and listen. And when he talks to you, let me tell you something. Do what he says.
You have to. You have to. You know, that's what the pandemic taught us.
Yeah.
The pandemic sat us down. The
Sat
pandemic,
us all the way down
the
and
pandemic,
opened up our ears.
it did, because the pandemic, it forced us to deal with ourselves.
Yeah.
It forced us to now determine,
Regroup. Yeah.
regroup. Do I like my family? Do I like my kids? Do I like my friends? It taught us to just, we had to figure things out differently, and everything that we had to figure out was a pivot.
Yeah.
And when you talk about listening, that's how I ended up in Atlanta, Georgia. God told me to go, and I only came out here with 2 months rent in my pocket and no job. Had my oldest son here. Oldest son, he was Canadian. His mother was Canadian. So it was basically me trying to handle it and trying to make this happen. So but it was a go. My mom said, "I'm surprised you're leaving. I thought you would stay in New York." No, I was told to go. And so whenever I do take those times to listen, now I know to listen a lot, because the times I don't listen, like you said, that's when we kind of take the 285 approach to our journey compared to the 75, 85 approach to the journey.
The long way around.
That's right. So that's really, and it's about listening, being in tune with the spirit, being in tune. And am I perfect? No, absolutely not. But I know when God tells me to stop, listen, go right instead of going left, go left instead of going right, I'm going. And 'cause I know exactly that there's something greater. Don't know when it's going to come, but
Yeah.
whatever He has for me is going to come eventually.
We were talking about, do I like my job? Do I like my kids? Do I like who I'm with? Do I like this? But what what I said during that time, I said, am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing while I'm here on earth? Am I following the path, God, that you are laying for me? And I listened, and I'm working, like, this is where we are, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to really, it was a self-evaluation for me too. And I sat down and I'm listening. And when I listen, I move faster.
I agree.
And I move swifter.
I like that. I like that a lot.
And I move along with good people.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Okay. So we good. I told you this was going to be good. So let's talk baseball. You coached the Ackworth Warriors baseball team for, I think I read, 7 years.
Yes.
And 217 weeks ago, Branston L. Duck said, "Wouldn't be near where I am without you, coach. One of my greatest mentors of all time," in response to you saying you were putting your coaching shoes on the shelf. Tell me about one of the most rewarding experiences and what you got from those 7 years, and how you are paying it forward to give others that same feeling.
Wow. Wow. The Ackworth Warriors, they saved me. They saved me. The coaches, Coach Red Taylor, Coach David Cloud, Coach Mike Ryan, Coach Tom Montague, Coach Keith Weir, Coach Michael, Coach Coach Andy. Those men, they saved me. They taught me how to be a better father. Because watching them, and I get emotional thinking about that. Because it takes me to a time period where I was kind of lost. I was trying to figure it out. I was faking it till I could make it, and they saw something in me. Coach Red came up to me one day. I was dating a woman who was, her son was on the team, and me, if you ever, if you have children, I date you, then they my kids, and I'm going to be there. And I was always there at his games, and they threw me in the dugout in Kennesaw Park. We did a great, coached some kids. We won a championship. She went to the Ackworth Warriors. I went to the Ackworth Warriors. And I'm doing the same thing. I'm back behind the gate. And Coach Red came to me one June day, and he said, "I need you in my dugout. I want you in my dugout." I had no idea what he wanted me to do. He had enough coaches, but he followed the assignment. He followed that assignment, and that assignment saved me. Those young boys made me the father I am to my son Elijah, Jalen.
Wow.
Hey, those men. I mean, gosh, you grab those little boys and they're 8 years old, and they're 8. You know, their voices.
Leaders in their own right, right?
They're in their own world.
Transferred their energy to you.
Yeah, and now I became like, you know, a superhero, I guess, to them, and they became superheroes to me. Um, those boys, what does it mean? The most memorable moment? Gosh, I had to go back to it. Um, I have several. There was one where a kid named Aiden Cloud, one of my favorite kids. All of them are my favorite, but I have a special relationship with some. And he had tennis elbow, and he was a second baseman, and he could not throw with his right arm, with his right hand, because he had tennis elbow. And he was so determined to play and win that he just played first base, and he just threw the ball underhand back to the pitcher. He was about, I think, 9 years old at that time. And I remember one of my other favorite kids. I'm close with all of them all, but Tanner Grinstead. One of my favorite moments. It actually was a sad moment at the time because we were playing the best team in the country, the East Coast Astros, and we bring them in there, and you know, at the end of the game, it didn't work out right. But I remember putting my arm around, I remember him crying, and I was like, geez, okay, great. But my best moment was that we got them a year later. I was able to now say, okay, you know what? We're good now. We finally beat the best team in the country.
Right.
One of my other moments was Grayson Taylor, and this was not even coaching. I remember he was my first baseball kid. Coach Red's son, and Coach Red was so hard on him. And I'm like, geez, this boy's about to get broken. He's the first kid I put my arm on. Mm-hmm. And he's the first. So I remember those talks in the outfield. I remember Chris Cole coming to me. He was about maybe 11 years old, 11, 12 years old. He was thinking about getting a part-time job, you know, bagging groceries at Publix, and they were ridiculing him. And he said, Coach, is it okay for me to get a job? I'm like, yeah, of course, you're making money. Who cares about what these kids think? So, right. So a lot of things. And then I think about Grayson again recently, playing for North Paulding in the state championships. And I remember him hitting a home run over the Chop House at Truist Park just about a few months ago. And I remember I got so emotional that I started crying. I saw his father almost ran me over, Coach Red. And I had to just step away. And then when they lost, being down there at the bottom when they was walking off the field and hugging all those kids, hugging Dylan Raydance, hugging Chris Cole, Tanner Grinstead, hugging Mitch Herr, you know, just hugging Grayson Taylor, hugging all those boys that have the Ackworth, you know, that Ackworth connection meant a lot to me. I could talk forever when it comes to Ackworth baseball. Those, yeah, they're the reason why, you know, my son Elijah, Jalen, they're the reason why I get up in the morning. But all those men I coached, the Paulson twins, Ryan Pruitt, Cam Cunningham,
you got a lot of shout outs.
I got into coaching. Chase, Double Nichols, Branston, Duck, Ethan, Matrix. You know, they're the reason why I got up, because I knew that there were at least 15 to 21 boys depending on me to bring some energy, depending on me to do something. You know, didn't know what it was until I got to that dugout. But I knew that they would. I had to show up. And
you did. And you know what a sign of a true leader is that you never forget. And not just the moment, but the names. You have named so many of those young boys. Well, they're probably men now, right?
You know, we got Harry Ford. Oh my gosh, Harry Ford just got drafted by the Seattle Mariners straight from high school, first round pick with the 12th pick. So he's out there in Peoria, Arizona, playing minor league baseball.
And you've transferred your energy to him, and he's transferred it to you. So you know it's cyclical, right? Yeah, like this is great. And here's an interesting fun fact about me is that my dad is a big baseball player, and he's gonna correct me if I'm wrong later, but from what I understand is that he got drafted out of college. He played in Nebraska.
Okay.
I want to say to play for Atlanta, and my grandparents wouldn't let him.
Okay.
But my dad is a big baseball fan. Like my dad is a diehard Yankees fan, but my grandparents were diehard Mets fans. So you could imagine how growing up that was. I was like ping ponging, but I love that you never forget. You never forget what those boys meant to you, the stories and their names and the feeling. Like you see your face and you light up. You're like, and what you don't want to do is you don't want to forget a name because I see that too,
No,
right? You're like,
I got some I probably forgot along the way, but those boys, I kid you
no,
not.
you just forgot names. You don't forget
Don't forget
faces and you
that, but
don't forget moments.
they could call me at any given moment. The parents could call me. They could call me, could text me. Hey, Tanner did that one time. Hey, coach, what are you doing tonight? So what you doing? I want to have dinner with you. Okay, I didn't care what I had planned. I dropped it. Whatever games they have, if they call me, I will do what I got to do. I'll drive to Rome, Georgia. I'll drive to Alabama. I'll drive to Mississippi, Tennessee, wherever they need me. I know that they needed me for a reason. And the most memorable moment was at North Paulding High School when Tanner Grinstead and the rest of the boys asked me to be there for their senior day and asked me to be there on the field with them while they got their jerseys this past April. That was by far, because again, I didn't have any kids on the team. As you can tell, my kids did not play baseball. Not saying they weren't cerebral enough, it just wasn't them. But just having that moment and them treating me like I was one of their own, it meant a lot to me.
Because you transferred your energy to those leaders and
Yeah.
they will never forget
So
either.
yeah, I ain't gonna get too emotional. Let's go on.
Okay. Well,
Let's go on.
we're gonna ride a little bit, right? You know, it's all good, but I told you like I like to take a journey. So I would be remiss if I did not say rest in peace to Michael K. Williams, father, actor, son of a Bohemian mama and Brooklyn brethren. The media is saying that they suspect that he overdoses, but I'm not gonna go that way, right? Until we know for sure. But I'm asking you to tell us from a black man's perspective how you stay balanced and positive and keeping the negative effects of the world from penetrating your spirit, mind, and body.
I know that with us being black people birthed into slavery, that we were predispositioned to fail. I know that my mother, growing up in Mississippi, um, you know, picking cotton, my father, born in the South Bronx, they were told that they were going to fail. My grandfather being the first black sheriff in the history of Mississippi, George Irvin, from Noxubee County, um, and the Ku Klux Klan burning crosses on my grandparents' farm, thought they were going to fail. I know that I have my family's name on my back, my New York family, my Mississippi family on my back. So what keeps me balanced is that I know the world wants me to fail and
Hmm.
do everything possible to not fail. I know that corporate America may want me to fail. I'm in IT. Ain't too many bald head goatee dudes, you know, in Oracle Financials for
Mhm.
20 plus years. It just
Right.
doesn't happen. You know,
Right.
I'm not a techie. I'm client facing, so I'm the person you're speaking to. I'm the person who went to Toastmasters to understand how to speak correctly,
Right.
because in order to speak to you, I got to learn to speak to everybody else.
Right.
So what keeps me balanced is knowing that people want me to fail. The food that we drive by these fast food places. It's $2, $3 to eat something bad, but $10 to eat something healthy. So the goal when it comes to physical is, do I want to make the doctors rich or do I want to make my body rich?
Right.
And so that's what gets me up at 2:15 in the morning to go down to Metropolitan and Effect Fitness and work out with Coach Reggie Ball, Daddy Ball Sr., and from 4 to 5 with my big baller crew. And that's what used to have me going in at 5:30 working out with you at boot camp. And now we run a gazillion miles all across the place from 5:15 on. It's basically saying that the world wants us to fail. And until my name is on the tombstone, I want them to say that we can't get him. We can want him to fail. We don't care what we throw at him. We could throw a sickness at him. We could throw unemployment at him. We could throw people turning their back on him. What can we do to get him? But I refuse to fail physically. So that's why I have it in my mind that failure is not an option. Cancer's not an option. You know, they say you can't eat good. We black people, we love to eat. Yeah, but we can eat good because guess
Sure
what?
can.
If we don't eat good, we're gonna be taking medicine good. So
Right.
I prefer to feed me compared to feeding a doctor who's gonna feed his kids good stuff. So
From your money.
for my money.
Right.
For my money. So that's really what it is. It's just knowing that we were born into slavery. We was born to fail and changing the narrative. Changing the narrative. And that's what black people, we have to change the narrative on diseases, on the diabetes,
Yes.
you know, everything's going on. I have a friend of mine that just told me that he's sick and it's hurting me. But in those things, and he said, I need this sickness to leave my family. That hit me. And there's some things that we just can't change. But sometimes our mindset, if our mind is sick, it eventually will come to our bodies being sick.
Yeah.
So it's how a man thinketh, so he is. That's really kind of how I go with it.
So you take that negative energy and you turn it into something that feeds you mentally, feeds you spiritually, like emotionally, and turns it into great. So then you can transfer that to other people.
Yeah,
That's a word.
Yeah,
That's a word.
A friend of mine, Lashia Johnson, told me about maybe 5-6 years ago. She said, if people don't want you to succeed, they need to leave you alone.
Right.
She said, because you
they
take
drive you.
every negative situation that comes your way and you flip it. You flip it. It's kind of like the help. And you got fired and then you coming back baking pies for that person and saying, okay, you about to eat this pie.
You
And
give them the literal version of it.
the
Yeah.
literal version of it.
Yeah.
And that's really, so so that's kind of, you have to always change the narrative. You know, you have to change the narrative.
I believe that.
Yeah.
Especially now, right? You know, I was in a meeting today and this guy was talking about, this is random, but I'm coming back to changing the narrative about how
random. Let's do it.
All of these people coming over, because he's from Texas, right? All these people coming from Mexico were bringing COVID, 7,000 people a day. And I was like, so you don't think the people in Texas already have? You don't think the people in Florida already have? You know, Georgia, New York? So they just coming from Texas and how they getting everywhere else?
Right.
And then and I'm like, no, like what I've done because of corporate America, right? There's a lot of times I sit and I'm like, okay, and I don't say anything, but I'm changing. I'm grown, and I'm confident who I am. So let me tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna change that narrative, and I'm gonna make you realize that what you're saying is not factual, and I'm gonna bounce it back to you because what happened was I think he just expected me to just sit with it. And I didn't. I bounced it back to him. And then he started telling me all this other stuff. But then he started indirectly talking to the person next to him because I'm not going for that.
Right.
As a Black woman, I have learned that you're not going to place a narrative on me or my people or things that I know. I'm going to change that. So you know what that looks like, right? And look what they've done to Naomi Osaka. Look what they've done to Simone Biles about mental health. No. This is absolutely okay. Like, let us change the narrative. Let's get behind these women and change the narrative. Like, let's sit down and listen, right? Because what they did was they sat down and they listened because God was like, you need to rest. You need to rest. We have to change the narrative. We can no longer let other people's narrative dictate and drive what we're doing in this world. Hell no.
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head. You know, you have to listen. Because we're programmed to feel embarrassed to take a vacation. We're programmed to work like back to slavery. We're programmed to do that, and we're also programmed to sit and be quiet and take whatever. But now, luckily, people like yourself, we have people in a position where they can say no, we could change that narrative because I can't tell you what you're going to do when I'm not around, but I'm going to tell you how you're going to talk about things when I am around. And that's powerful. And to see a woman do that, that's what I said. I love women. Me and my mom and dad, very close, but women, Black women in a place of power, position of power to do that and challenge that. We need more of that.
It's time for us to speak up. For so long, we just kind of sat and took it, and not even took it, but just didn't be confrontational.
Right.
But I'm not being confrontational. You think you're talking facts, but let me spit the real facts
The
to
real
you.
facts.
Or let me tell you what I see and what I've experienced, because it's not that.
Right.
And what I've experienced is okay.
Right.
It doesn't make it wrong. It makes it different, but not wrong.
No, I agree with you.
So, all right. So I told you we were going to kind of go up, but even with the Michael K. Williams thing, right? They're saying overdose. We're going to wait on that because I'm not sure how I feel about that either. Right.
But then again, at the same time, I always feel like, what are you doing within your time frame here on Earth? And people know your death date and know and your birth date.
Yep.
Not too many people know that journey. And I feel like if he did, whenever he passed away, but the impact that he left on the world was amazing. And I think that's the main thing it's all about leaving an impact. I don't care if you're a school teacher. I don't care if you're an executive administrator. I don't care if you are a janitor. We all have an ability to leave an impact on people. It's not always the president of the United States. It's not always what these IG models are, loving hip hop. It's everyday people. What are we doing to leave an impact? And I feel like, I hate the fact that he's gone, but the impact that man left, for people who are New Yorkers, for people who are outside of New York, he let us know, he showed us that, we could do this. We came from the same place, but we can do this and still stay true to who we are. Yeah.
And he played a real serious role, right? And in all aspects of who he was in The Wire. So there's something to be said about that, because that was, we were all like, whoa, okay, but thank you, thank you to him, and I hope that he rests in eternal peace. I'm gonna bring it up a little bit now.
Let's do it.
So when I hit you up about the convo, I mentioned that I've watched and admired you, right? I talked about that. Right. So let's chop it up about NYG for Life Entertainment, because now I'm gonna talk to the Captain Kurt, aka.
Okay, hold on. I gotta walk out and come back in, because there's some people out there that know that there's two different people, and Curtis is the sweet guy, and Captain Kurt. Now you see the energy; it changes now. It becomes that dude. I'm an ambivert. I'm introverted. That's Curtis. Sit at home, relax in Kennesaw, read a book, burn some sage as Palo Santo. I'm good. And Captain Kurt, that's a different person. Now I see the hearts go crazy on that one. That's a different person right there.
They're like, this is who we waiting for. Okay.
Some have. Woo! Shout out to you, Walker. Shout out to you.
All right. So let's talk about it, right? You went from Sunday football to what I'm calling single and ready to mingle, or date night parties at Monticello's, right? I've seen flyers for In Vogue. I've seen flyers for Mystical, Tweet, Tank, Genuine, Rakim. August Alsina most recently. And of course, I love this, one of your favorite followers now, Raheem Devon.
That's my guy.
You were fanning out when he followed you. And I love it, because it's the simple things, right? Like, you worked hard. And look what happens, right? It's that path, right? Because you listened. You gotta go. You listened, and look where you are. Like, so that's dope. So of course we want to know, how do you go? Again, is there a thought bubble that's like, oh yeah, it's great watching football, but let's party, right? Because one of the things I'm going to say, I have not been out to Monticello's yet. I'm coming.
Party waiting for you.
But here's what I love. People getting there and they dancing.
That's right. We party.
They're dancing, right? People don't dance no more.
They don't.
Right? Kings don't dance with boogie, but either way, they dance and they boogieing. How did you do that? How did you get people to come to a place? You got DJs from all over. You got all of these entertainers that show up, and you got people that are in there dancing and enjoying each other, right? With everything that's going on, people are having a good time, a safe, good time. How does that happen?
I'll give you the journey, but I'm going to say this one phrase. It happens because I bet on myself. That's really it. You know, I bet on myself.
You bet on yourself. I love it.
If anyone's going to draw a four on me, I'm betting on me. If I'm at the craps table, I'm betting on me. You know, that's how it happened. I bet on myself. And football, we started late. It was the pandemic. And, you know, the owner, one of my mentors, you know, Thomas Dixon, you know, he said to me, Curtis, if you be patient, because you could have been, he said, we're going to open up soon, but if you could be patient, it will pay off. Okay, I'm following you. I'm loyal. You know, one thing I am in this industry is I'm loyal. And
no, you're a solid dude. That's why you're loyal.
Thank you. Thank you. And for me, so we open up and we bring in a pandemic. Now, mind you, pandemic, you know, so I was getting crucified on social media for this, and might as well get saying now. We were, you know, getting 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 800 people in a 14,000 square foot place. So it was socially distanced, and we say that. But we were doing that in a pandemic. It's like, how are you winning in a pandemic?
Because you listened.
Exactly. So then, you know, Thomas says to me, he pulls me in his office. He's the only man beside God that I will pick up the phone for past 11 o'clock. The only man.
Right, because big ballers.
Exactly. You know, when he's here fighting, when he tells people, listen. So he says to me, so, you know, football's great, but we need this to be year round. And prior to the pandemic, I wanted to do a brunch. I just not know how to do it. So he says, well, Curtis, we need this. You know, I said, well, I said, I want to do a brunch, you know, day parties and, you know, sprinkle some concerts and let's do this. And he says to me, have you ever done this before? I said, no. He said, well, that wasn't the answer I was expecting to hear. but I bet on but I said, okay, I'm going to bet on myself. So I spoke, you know, the other owner, Jace, said to me one night, he said, well, you know, you got 3 weeks to make this successful. If this is not successful in 3 weeks, then, you know, well, you know, we'll do this football season and, you know, we know what you're good at. 3 weeks. That was in February. The first concert was called Thomas for Valentine's Day. We had 2 shows, 2 sold out shows. Then it was like, okay, well, maybe it was the concert. Then we didn't have a concert the next week. And we had 300-400 people for a brunch day party on a Sunday in February. It was like, okay, well, maybe we're on to something. Then it just went into concerts every Sunday from February 28th all the way to Mother's Day. It was every Sunday. And that there told the industry, that there told the ownership that I worked with, that NYG4Life Atlanta ain't nothing to play with.
And then, it told them it's time to bet on you.
Yeah. So then what they did with adding on to the bet, they brought in LaFoy Grant, a brother who I love working with. Great partnership with him. And they brought in Jay Sherman, and we made the brunch day party even better because my demographic got exposed to them. Their demographic got exposed to me, and it was perfect. We weren't stepping on each other. We were working as 3 black men together. And to this day, we still have not had an argument or disagreement. We all work on the same page. But in order for me to get to this point, I have to thank Corey B. Washington from James Evans, Atlanta, for opening the door and telling me back when we did a 4-day event when the New York Giants came and played the Atlanta Falcons. And the Giants actually came down to interview me for that. You're going Giants on the road, Atlanta. I can send you the link. Go on Giants on the road, Atlanta. You will see me being interviewed by a Super Bowl champion. Gosh, Lord have mercy. Brandon Flowers. And that there, he said to me that you do this event, it's going to change your life. And everyone knows me. I like to be under the radar. I'm Curtis. I'm the football guy. He said it's going to change your life. And it did. I want to thank Donald Jarman of Jarman Entertainment, who is one of the big guys at Old School Saturday. He's the reason why I got into Monticello's. He opened that door for me. And now it's all Curtis. And so I thank both of those brothers. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here talking to you today. But
No.
You asked me how the entertainment piece came
It
about.
was because you're supposed to be here.
I'll give you that.
Okay.
But there's something there that you asked me but before Monticello, there was an event that some of these people were probably on this thing was. We did a boat ride. When NYG for Life Atlanta first came about, we took over the city in 2016 as Chef Rob's. And, one of the DJs said, Kurt, let's do a boat ride. On Lake Lanier. I don't know how to do a boat ride. Okay. Well, guess what? Do a boat ride, 140 people. You want to know how long it took for those tickets to sell out?
Minutes.
6 minutes. We sold out 100. We sold out an entire boat in 6 minutes. A no name. This brand here, a no name in the city, sold out a boat, a yacht in Lake Lanier.
A solid black man who has been consistent in honing his craft with his leadership team sold out a boat ride in 6 minutes. Come on. What we're not going to do here is be like, no. To know me, and if any of my English language listeners are on here, to know me is that we speak positivity only in these conversations.
Well, I'm going to give you that. Well, and I have to thank you for that. And I have to thank Sandra McCoy, my right hand, Christina Mason at the time, who was the VP. But Sandra McCoy has been riding with me for this entire time. And I thank her for her belief in me because, you think lightning can't strike twice. Well, we made lightning strike twice because, we sold out another boat ride, in, when was that? I think that was 2019 or 2018. No, 2019. The year we went to Monticello. We sold out another boat ride. And people said, I heard it. Well, Curtis, people feel your price point is too high. People don't want to support you.
You know your value.
But guess what happened?
They paid it.
Another mentor and a close friend of mine, Kayla Green from First Lady Enterprise, called me up. And she said, Kurt, I want to come on your boat. I want to do a boat ride. Do you have whatever? Okay, great. She brought a party bus up and then other people. And next, we had another 150 people on this bus. On this boat. And it was kind of like, hold up here. I could really do this. So Antoine Woods, one of my leaders, he said, well, Curtis, let's stop calling it NYG for Life Atlanta. Add some entertainment to it. You're doing boat rides and this. And Antoine's a boat ride dude. Like real talk. He'll do a boat ride in the winter if you allow him to. And so basically we called it. So I went down to the Secretary of State. I went through the IRS and I changed the name to NYG for Life Atlanta Sports and Entertainment LLC because now I'm letting the world know that we are not just a 4-month brand or a 5-month brand. We're not just a 12-month brand. We are about to be decades of this brand. Hopefully I'm able to pass this down to my son. Who asked me, he said, Dad, are you going to teach the young people how to hustle on this interview? No, it's going to take years to teach you that, kid. But I will definitely.
But take notes.
But my goal is to pass this down because, again, we talk about multiple streams of income. We talk about being valuable. And
generational wealth.
Generational. And kind of what led to this explosion was I had got laid off the month before the world shut down, got another job, and a few months later. But I said to myself that I'll never put myself in that position again where I'm just having one person feed me. I'm going to be full to the point where I'm throwing up off of it. And that's just kind of how I feel. And so we're now being successful with this. NYG for Life, I love what we bring into this city because it's new. It's a niche. We married football with concerts, with brunches, with day parties. Like you mentioned, the people, Elder Barge was on our stage.
Elder Barge. I know, I saw it.
Like my son, we was at sound check, and I said, you wasn't
even believe this?
But this is
Can you believe this?
And then Rakim, Jada Kiss was on there, and we did that in conjunction with Corey B, with the Biggie Smalls event that Corey B Washington does. And then you look at Raheem Devon. I actually wanted him Mother's Day. I wanted him Mother's Day because I knew my aunt was going to come down. And my aunt was like, babe, I'm coming down. My aunt, she's going to kill me for saying this. My aunt is 85 years old. She doesn't look it. She's a COVID survivor.
Because we on crack.
She's amazing. My aunt, right now, she's on Instagram. She called me today to let her know that she was only on Instagram to see this.
Hey, auntie.
And she said, I want to have There better be a concert when I come down. So my goal was to have
He
Raheem
told you.
DeVaughn, but we ended up having Anthony David in algebra. And so we got Raheem DeVaughn for Easter.
Okay.
And that was a tripping moment because I'm such a Raheem DeVaughn fan. And when he was on stage,
You fanned out. You fanned out when he followed you. I love it. I love
I
it.
mean, I was in straight groupie mode. Like if you listen to the videos, it's me singing the entire album.
Yeah,
And
but he fanned out for you too, by the way. But go ahead.
I appreciate that, and I thank Janet Jackson for making that happen, as well as Mark for making that happen. And so then also it's kind of like I kind of have to laugh at this when we had Tank and Genuine. We had Tank and Genuine as a charity event for their manager, and then right after Tank and Genuine RL, I got a phone call that morning. I was walking Kennesaw Mountain, and Walker knows this very well. And I got a phone call, and it was like, hey, do you mind? Keith Sweat and Bobby Brown want to pull up, and it was supposed to be Missy Elliott. And I said, what you think?
Do I mind?
What do I think? Like I'm the
Right.
ultimate New Edition fan. Like
Tell me, come on.
back in the day, people either I thought I was Ralph Tresvant, or some people thought I was like Ralph Tresvant. But the one thing I didn't do was sing like Ralph. So the point being is Bobby Brown, Keith Sweat, so they actually did a verses before they did verses. So
They did a practice run with you?
They did it. It was crazy. And then when Goody Mob with CeeLo Green, people say, how did you get CeeLo? How? And I tell you how. It is aligning yourself with the right people who believe in you and then add extra value to what you believe in. Thomas, Mr. Bob Adams, Chase, Janet, Mark, geez, that whole Monticello team.
I love that you like to align. I love that you are a leader and give respect when respect is due.
It's not Curtis. It's not Curtis. This here is not Curtis. There's Sandra, my CFO. There is Clayton, DJ Clay Nice, the beginner. He owns Flavor One Radio. Give that big plug. Flavor One Radio.
Shout out to Flavor One Radio.
We have DJ Cran Grooves, who's also Ty is also TS Photo Designs. He's also my videographer and photographer. So all the videos you see on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, that's what he does. We have Antoine Woods, who's a super promoter back in New York, back in the day. He's on the team. We have my favorite DJ Cut, DJ Cut, my favorite DJ from Patterson, New Jersey. We have DJ Tron, we have DJ Daddy Dre. We have and we have so much. And so this is not Curtis. This is everybody that allows me to be the Ralph Tresvant. They allow me to be the lead singer. If it wasn't for Epic South Entertainment, the Chicago Bears fan club of Atlanta, believing in me, and I said to them one day, if you follow me, we're gonna be good. And we came up with an event called Who's the Real Godfather House? New York versus Chicago. We had 300 people down at the old 55th and Park with Rhonda Rivers there. The owner of Rhonda Rivers. And them and the Green Bay Packer crew of Atlanta, Jeff Johnson, those two brothers believed in me during the pandemic to keep their group safe, to keep their team safe. And I thank them because if it wasn't for them and my NYG4Life family, Andrew Davis, Letitia Jones, Dion McKinney, all the other Giant fans that pull up, Anthony Fernandez, who's on the team as well, who's going to be Anthony and Sandra will be running out of club and I go crazy about these people.
I see. Look, you are just shouting everybody else. But you know what I want to say, because I told you this is about you too, right? I love it. I love it because you're so humble, right? And I can feel all of that. I can feel that energy. I can feel that love, and everybody that's watching can feel that too. They say that. And I don't like the way this sounds, but I'm gonna say it how they say it, and then I'm gonna Kazitize it. But they say that you made it when you no longer have to introduce yourself when you walk into a room. And I'm going to Kazitize it by saying, you have stepped into the right place when people introduce themselves to you, because they say it's nice to meet you, Curtis.
I would say that. Wow. It's funny you say that. I kind of learned that from my younger brother, Tony Desan Smith, who just now got on this Hotels.com commercial. He's an actor out there in LA. I learned that from Shamel Smith, Ramel Smith, Javon Smith, and Bar Kim Smith, my 5 brothers, the Smith 6. I have to shout my family out. I learned that because they're very successful in their own right. And I'll tell you, the moment I remember Quinn in the Jukebox Band. I don't know if people in Atlanta know who Quinn is, but they should. I remember when I went to shake the hand of the road manager, and I said, "Hi, my name is." He said, "No, brother, I know who you are." It was a humbling moment because, again, I wear the black T-shirts for a reason. I learned that from Thomas Dixon and Chase and Mr. Bob. They ain't flashy. They ain't flashy. So I Rome do as the Romans do. So I'm not flashy. I learned that from Janet. She's not flashy. And then I remember Rich Dollars. Rich Dollars from Love Hip Hop New York and Atlanta came to brunch, and I introduced myself. He said, "Yo, I want to host some events." Yo, he put his number in my phone, and I'm looking. I'm like, "Yo, hold up.
Did he just do
You
that?
just put your number in my phone." And then next you know, and I'm arranging it so where if you look at the flyer, that Rakim concert was hosted by Rich Dollars. So it's humbling to now walk into a room, the son of Curtis Smith and Aretha Smith from the Bronx, New York, where me and my 5 brothers slept in one room, to now walk in a room and people, like I remember Kevin Taylor from the Bears said this one time when people saw me, said, "Man, it's like people, like they treat you like you Jesus or something." And I said, "No, I'm not Jesus, but I have God in me." And I feel that there's an energy that God has bestowed upon me to bring out to other people.
To whom much is given, much is required.
And that's really what it is. So NYG for life, man. It's amazing. Man.
I love it. I love it because this is why I wanted you to have this conversation with me.
You have me out my comfort zone because people who know
No.
real good,
You found your lane, homeboy. You found your lane.
But I'm funny you say that because I used to always say I'm staying in my lane, and I realized that staying in my lane means that I'm walking in my greatness. I can't walk in your lane. I can't walk in their lane. But my lane is my lane, and it's going to be a great lane. When we cross paths, that's where we mess up. When we try to do something that is not meant for us to do or walk the way we're supposed to walk. I'm not a preacher, but I'm just saying, that's when you're walking in your greatness. And when you walk in your greatness, there's an air of confidence that you have within yourself, that you can bet on yourself. That if it's the 4th quarter and we down by 25 points with 5 minutes to go, you know that you're going to get your team to victory. And that's how I feel. That's how I feel about my team. That's how I feel about anybody with me. That this is the lane that I'm in. And it's a great lane. And I'm going to keep that lane. And I may veer left, right, but no, I found that path now. So it's straight. It's straight. It's straight.
And you talk about all of these people that believed in you, but you know what they saw? They saw that you believed in yourself and that you were solid in who your parents raised you to be. And when people see somebody that is solid and bets on themselves, God damn it if they won't bet on you too.
Well, here the thing is, I always feel that the first person that you have to convince to believe in you is you.
It's yourself.
If I can't convince myself that I'm going to be good or great, then how can I convince 1,700 people on my Facebook group to come and show love? How can I convince, the other cities? Because we actually do have 7 other cities that NYG for Life has branched out in. We got NYG for Life Los Angeles, NYG for Life Las Vegas. We have
Come on, take
NYG
over.
For Life
Come on,
Florida.
take over.
We have NYG for Life Charlotte. We have NYG for Life Raleigh Durham. We have NYG for Life. The first branch of NYG for Life outside of Atlanta was NYG for Life Virginia Beach 757, headed by Mark Sawyer and Freddie Reyes. In order for those other cities to want to believe in me, to believe in this vision and take on a city of their own, I had to believe in me. I had to sell me on me. And if I can sell me on me, I can sell you on me. I can sell that job interview on me. I can sell anybody who wants to believe in what we do.
I've been sold though. I've been sold. And so everyone else on here and everyone who's going to view this later has been sold. So let's continue to move on, because bought, packaged, opened up, bought again. Like, we with you. We riding.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Shout out to Wendy Torres, who has her book, Side Chick Syndrome.
Okay. So look, Wendy's in the building, and Wendy is supporting, and Wendy did a lot of promotion. So shout out to Wendy. Don't worry, Wendy.
Shout out to Diane Harris. Diane Harris, she has a book on Amazon. She's overcoming. Shout out to Shinobi Morgan. She has 2 of her books too. I'm just shouting out my Effect Fitness sisters. Shout out to y'all. Y'all are great.
Hey,
let's be great.
But this is what leaders do, right? They transfer their energy.
Be great.
So Curtis, we talked to Curtis the leader, Curtis the coach, Curtis the black man, Curtis the plug.
Right.
Now tell me about Curtis the community servant, and why this is so important to you, and what we can look for when it comes to what's going to happen in the community and how we can support.
You know, growing up, although, you know, we grew up across the street from East Chester Projects. Shout out to my boys from 1219. I remember just having nothing but water in our refrigerator. I remember parents being online for that free cheese. I remember that. And I remember my mom hustling to sell dinners, to sometimes giving them out for free, sometimes, you know, selling them to the barbershops and the gas stations and all. And I remember just how it was growing up in the 80s, you know, in the crack era. And I used to always feel bad for the homeless. I used to always feel bad for the mentally disturbed. So when I started anything had to be charity based. You know, I have a Baptist, you know, background, although I don't go any more Baptist churches. But I have a Baptist background, and we was always, you know, feeding the homeless. We was always giving back, and I wanted to give back. I started giving back working with kids, and that's what I was doing with not just travel baseball, but just trying to do big brothers, big sisters. Then I remember, you know, going down to Pine Street, feeding the homeless, and then doing stuff, clothing the homeless. Because I didn't want to work with the churches no more. I didn't want to work with these big organizations. I wanted to have that direct impact. I wanted to put my arm around somebody who looked like me, that may have just made a different choice than me, or just maybe had a bit of bad luck, to let them know that, okay, someone here is praying for you. Someone here is crying with you. And so I want to have that immediate impact. So that's what led to, you know, Meals on Wheels. Working with Meals on Wheels. My mother was a Meals on Wheels recipient. Although she cooked, she looked forward to that darn meal coming every day. She knew the people who was delivering those meals. And when she passed, the Meals on Wheels called to ask me, was she okay? Because they saw the meals stocking up on the door. So I have a passion for Meals on Wheels. Thanksgiving, Mother's Day, everything I do with Meals on Wheels is for them. So that's why they were they were the second recipient of our Unity Tailgate, where we raised over 5,000 pounds of non-perishable food in a 4-hour time span for Meals on Wheels. So my passion for the community, it's all about giving back, you know, because you never know when you're going to be on the other side of the table.
A lot of people are one paycheck away from it.
You know,
or one decision, one challenging decision. It's not going to be a bad decision, but one challenging decision away, people can be on either side of this.
You can be, and you can't ask people to support you if you're not willing to support people. And when you ask people to support you, you're asking strangers to support you.
Yeah.
So when I'm helping the community, guess what? I'm supporting strangers.
Yeah.
And so it's reciprocal. So that's where my support for everybody comes in, is that I'm about giving back. I'm not about just supporting my friends. Because guess what? I'm gonna have a new friend out of a stranger I support. You know, so it's all about just that's really me. My passion. That's where NYG4Life, before the parties and the concerts and all this, it started with football and going to McDonald's, buying 100 sandwiches, McMuffins, or whatever the heck was in their box to give out to the homeless on Pine Street. So I still have that in me. So even now, we're with the Hurricane Ida, we're in the process of doing a Rep Your Team Jersey Day Party, October 2nd. Location may be Monticello's, or it may be at the Crown, the New Orleans Saints bar, because we were supposed to go to New Orleans. And so what we're going to do, we're going to do a Hurricane Ida relief Jersey Day Party where we're asking everybody to bring, it's free, but we're asking everybody to bring water and toiletry items so we can ship that down to the people who are affected and displaced by Hurricane Ida. And also that Sunday when the Giants play the Saints, we won't be at the Giants group won't be at Monticello. We'll be at the Saints bar showing love again and doing the same thing, trying to raise items for those people to ship down to brothers and sisters of all colors and all races who have been displaced.
Is there going to be a option for people to donate virtually? Like, could we like, can I order a case from Amazon and ship it, or do I make a PayPal, like some type of donation to do that?
We'll do that. We'll put out the PayPal, and we'll put out the Cash App with regards to that. More than likely, Keon Taylor, one of my other mentors, he'll be running that for Courtesy of New Orleans. And also, I'm going to reach out to my major mentor, Flip, Michael Hall, from Monticello to ask for help because, well, to be honest with you, the community service piece is key. But if it wasn't for Michael Hall, Flip, as I call him, if it wasn't for him, the journey, he made the journey a little bit easier by mentoring me. So it allows me to be a mentor to people. And that's where also the community piece, because he always tells me to keep remember your people. Don't forget with nothing. And that's the fact he loves the fact I always want to give back.
I say this all the time to people. It's free to be kind.
It is. A smile is free.
It's simple. It's simple and it's free, and it takes nothing out of you to do that. So let me ask you this with regards to your nonprofit. Are you guys listed on Amazon? You could put like your favorite nonprofit and people can donate to that. Are you guys there too?
No, we're not there at Amazon yet. We're getting there.
Okay, cool.
We're getting
I'm just saying because you got plenty of fans out here. And
you know why we're getting there? Because you just said it. I never thought about that. So when I get off this phone with you, I'll be going upstairs in my office, and I'll definitely will be working on that because that's a word from God to do that. So we're going to get on that. I am not pretending we're not on it, but by the end of the night, we'll be starting that process.
Yeah, and the other thing I think about too, right? So many corporations, they match, right? So they say, if you have an organization and you donate, they match. Now, people like my company in particular, I have one community service day. So I'm going to use that community service day with you all when I'm out in the world again.
Good. Good. I like that. I like that.
So those are things that you can remind people too, right? The matching and all of that, because I am a servant of the community too, right? I do that through Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, but I do that because my father came from a third world country. My father came to this country not speaking English. That's why I'm a moderator in the #1 English language club on Clubhouse, because I know what he went through, but I know the importance of giving back because my parents taught me that. I tell people all the time, my dad is from Panama, but my mother's from that country called the Bronx. Okay.
BX.
So shout out to my mama here. But okay, Kurt, so I got lots of more questions, but we're like an hour, 20 minutes in. I know you have lots of shout outs. I want you to do that. But then I have Kaz's quickie because I don't want to lose too many people for being on here too long. So do you want to give some more shout outs and
rep your sets? Real shout outs real quick. My best friends, Sharice Cruz out in Phoenix, Janine Grant Thompson, Janine Askew, Lanicia Baldwin, Natasha Pope, DeCoro, Elliot, my partner in crime, JB, Angel Walker, Marla, Michelle Walker, Wendy Torres, Angie Davis, Letitia Jones. Named all my crew. I got so many. Jesus, I named everybody I could probably think of. And also I want to thank the man who prayed for my mother on her deathbed, Ainsley Hines, OG Ainsley. I have the deepest affection for him. I hope he got on because he was trying to call me when this thing started, and I put in a voicemail. I want to give a shout out to my entire family in Mississippi. My cousin Anita, my cousin Jarvis, my cousin Benita. I want to shout out my family, Roosevelt, who has his own podcast, Buff and
Oh,
Rose.
shout out to Roosevelt. I think he's following me too. So shout out to him.
Roosevelt, yes, Roosevelt. He has a big podcast, Buff and Rose. My cousin William, and the person who was my idol beside my mother and father, my first cousin Edwina, formerly known as, better known as Poppy. She was the first person who went to college in my family. I wanted to be like her. She lived next door to me. I know I forgot a boatload of names, so please don't again.
I don't think anybody would be upset
Just,
because you don't forget, right?
List.
I was gonna say you didn't have a list. We talked about this being organic.
My fantasy football people, my boys from the Bronx, Eric, my big brother Phil, big brother Greg, JB, Mark, Sam, the whole BAS crew, my CMB crew from college, and the people who name me Cool Breeze. Shout out to y'all. The people who name me Smash, the 1219 boys, Roy Allen, Kevin Allen, Chris Gilmore, Little, Ty, Buddha, Tucson.
What you gonna do when you get this like community servant award or this award? You gonna have to, they're gonna be playing the music, Kurt. You gotta get this together. They're gonna be oh no. Am I frozen?
Are you frozen?
No. Oh no, we back. I guess it was me. But look, did you hear what I said about what you're gonna do when you get this big community service award and you're on stage, and you better have names written on your phone because they're gonna start playing the music on you. So you better have everybody ready and be able to say it.
Right. You freezing up a little bit.
Oh, okay.
You good now?
Okay, cool.
Okay.
But look.
You good now?
So somebody asked about the books. You talked about, I know Wendy has a book, but can you say everyone who has a book, the name of the books, because somebody asked to hear that again.
Wendy Torres, she has a book called Side Chick Syndrome. It's not what you would think, but it's really good. It's about healing from a woman's perspective, and how she overcame traumas and how she's trying to now uplift women. You have Diamond Harris, who has a book called I'm Overcoming. He's on Amazon as well. And she, Diamond Cash, CASH, that's her name. She has a book called I'm Overcoming. It's barely like it's a book of how she overcame and how she's overcoming, how she's had challenges in life and how she is breaking the stigma of that, girls with weight can't work out and be healthy and lose that the natural way. And then you have Shinobi Monograms, Shinobi Morgan, rather. She has 2 books out, and I forgot the names. They're up there. Divorcing Soul Ties is one of them, the most recent one she had. Those are the books that my Effects Fitness sisters have that are out.
Awesome. Okay, so I usually, and shout out to all of them, and I'm sure all of their books are on Amazon. Yeah. And if you're on here, go ahead and put the name of your book in here so people know that as well. So Kaz is quickie, right? Quick, rapid fire questions. I usually do 10, but the spirit led me for 20 for you. I usually let people like kind of pass on 2. So, I mean, if you must pass, you can, but let's see what you got, okay?
Okay.
You ready?
Okay, real quick. Shout out to Hayden Soley, Halo, on the Akron Forest. Love you.
I love it. Okay. What emoji best describes you? Are we passing already?
Chess piece.
I like that. Doc Gooden or Daryl Strawberry?
Both of them overcame. Both of them are champions.
All right. You can say both. Both is acceptable.
I'll say both.
All right. What is the one song that gets you on the dance floor no matter what?
Wow. I love house music. Like I'm a dancer. I love house music. And it would have to be Follow Me. The house song, Follow Me. That automatically gets me.
I get it. Ready? Okay. Favorite position to play?
In baseball, my favorite position, because I'm left-handed, my favorite position is first base.
Okay, bucket list, right? You said to go to every baseball, football, and basketball stadium. But here's the question: who do you take with you?
Jesus Christ.
These are rapid fire questions,
The
by the
person
way.
who I take with me is my boy JB, who I created my bucket list with. So shout out to JB, the bucket list brothers. I take
All
him.
right, all right, JB, shout you out. Where do you get the best chopped cheese in the Bronx?
The where?
In the
The
Bronx,
what?
chopped cheese. Where do you get the best one?
I guess right there at the bodega, right there by Gunhill train station with a 5 cent.
Cool. Who is the loudest NYG for Life Atlanta member?
Wow. Now, loud as in screaming loud?
However
Or
you want
just
it,
loud
loud,
of
like loud,
presence?
like loud, like loud supporter, loud, like and screaming loud, loud, like oh my god, this is about to be the best party ever. Like what? Loud. However,
I give it a tie. I'll go with Dion McKinney, and um, I'll go with Keisha Presley, and
shout out to
Lakeisha
Keisha Presley. You know
Jones.
she and I went to high school together.
She did.
Yeah.
Shout out to her, Keisha Presley, because when I first met her, she showed me a video of her stomping a Tony Romo jersey while I was on fire. And
Keisha about that life.
so I say the most thoroughest Giant fan we have is Angie Davis. She's my bodyguard.
Cool. Swiss Beats or D Nice?
I'm going Swiss.
What's the
You
first
from the
word that
BX?
comes to mind when I say the number 42?
What number comes with 42?
Mm-hmm. First word that comes to mind.
The first number is Jackie Robinson.
No, what's the first word that comes to mind? I know who he is. What's the first word that comes to mind?
But when you say 42?
Yeah.
Endure.
Enduring, you said?
Endure.
Enduring. I like that. What was the name of your first girlfriend and how old were you?
Shout out to Monique Keefe. Love you to this day. I know she's probably watching because we are still close friends.
No.
To this day, she's the only person that could cuss me out and know me well. And nobody else I listen to. I'm stubborn, but she's the only one because we were together from 14 to 19, 20, stupidly went to college together and broke up because we was gonna kill each other. So shout out to Monique Keefe.
That's a whole nother Convos with Cass. Okay, so Mike Piazza or Dusty Baker?
Dusty Baker.
Best gift you've ever given or received?
You know what? I have to say this. The best gift I ever received was Elijah Cole Smith and Jalen Miles Smith. Those are the best gifts I ever received.
Come on, Dad.
I may not speak with their mothers, and I could be forthcoming with that, but those are the best gifts I ever received in my life are my sons. And I know Elijah's watching, so but that's the best gift I ever received was my son.
Legacy. Word up. If you ran for president, who would be your running mate?
Oh, my boy JB.
Which rapper has both of our names?
Cassandra Smith.
No.
Grandmaster Cass. Oh.
Grandmaster Cass, right. Curtis Brown. Grandmaster Cass.
Okay, Grandmaster Cass, okay.
You got it. Look, that was good.
Okay.
What is the last thing that made you pause for a moment?
The last thing that made me pause, like pause as in what? Like,
as in whatever it was. It doesn't have to be good. It doesn't have to be bad. It could be just like shocking. It could be like, oh, whoa, let me think about this real quick, or let me just jump into this.
the last thing that made me pause was when Coach Ball told us to give him 4 of everything, and 4 of everything turned out to be 13 miles.
Oh, okay. That would have made me pause and halt and stop and convulse.
Yeah, I shout out to the GOAT. He definitely paused on that.
I'm going to say a sport, and you tell me, dead or alive, one person you would want to be your teammate. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Football.
Football, who I want on my team.
One person that you want to be your teammate.
One person, football. Football, wow. It would have to be Sharice Cruz, my best friend.
Tennis.
It would have to be Janine Grant, my best friend.
Baseball.
Baseball. It would have to be Elliot Griffin, my best friend.
Rugby.
Wow. Rugby. Someone who I'll run through the wall with. Rugby. Wow. Someone who I'll run through the wall with. I keep thinking because so many people I would run through the wall with. They would have to be tough as nails. They would have to be, wow. I would have to go with my boy JB.
Okay. Magic Johnson or LeBron James?
Magic. I'm a Lakers fan. Oh, I'm a Lakers fan regardless. So yeah, Magic. He made me a Lakers fan.
What was the most memorable game you attended live? Any sport?
Wow. The most memorable game I attended live in any sport was
Rapid.
when Grayson Taylor hit that home run over the Chop House back in a high school kid hitting a homer 390 feet, 16 years old. That beat me seeing Marshawn Lynch throw guys off the field in Arizona when he played for Seattle. Hands down.
That's dope. Favorite DMX song or verse?
I wish I had the shirt. My shirt's upstairs. That is what they really want. And you know, it's the second verse. He named all those women. I have a shirt up there with that whole second verse. And at the bottom it says what these women want from the captain. I got that shirt. I haven't worn it yet. But that's
all right. Well, it soon come on that shirt, huh?
Okay. It's coming because my thing is someone's gonna smack me in the face for wearing all these different names. I may not have their name on it, or I may have too many names on it, or whatever.
Prepare yourself. Okay.
3 Kims. I met Cookie at the ice cream parlor.
Look, we in rapid fire questions. This is the slowest rapid fire Kaz's quickie ever. Jesus.
It's my voice.
Who has the craziest rider you've seen thus far?
The craziest what?
Rider
as in?
As in, like, when they come to perform, I want this in my green room, my dressing room.
Really? I would say Carl Thomas.
Okay. This is the last question. And since it has not really been rapid fire, don't start here. Fill in when I pause. I am Curtis Smith. My most important title is
father, friend, mentor. That's my most important title.
I am dedicated to
my brand, my family, my friends, my craft.
Okay. I wake up knowing
that I'm the shit.
I've instilled blank in my sons for them to foster their greatness.
I've exhibited strength to let them know that you can be great through the process.
I want my life legacy to be blank.
Great.
And to the next generation of leaders to always remember.
Remember God, remember the people, and remember who you are. We lose ourselves when we forget who we are. So remember God, people, and always remember you.
Convos with Kaz family. This is my friend, Curtis Smith.
Wow, thank you. It's been a pleasure.
It's been my pleasure, my honor. I have enjoyed this immensely. And I said it in the beginning, I was excited, and you showed up. And you showed out.
We did say it was going to be 30 minutes. It turned out to be 94. It's been a pleasure. It's been an honor for all those people who have supported us. Support Cassandra James. Support Kaz Kaz Jans, please support her. You know, let's let everybody know that she has a platform out here for people who are trying to make a difference in this world. So go out there, spread her brand out. You know, not just talk about us. Let's talk about her too. She's dope. She does stuff with Chris Epps on 92.3 Jams. Let's pop her collar. You know, let's support this sister right here. She
I
also
appreciate
is
that.
a member of the illustrious AKA, you know, sorority. So I know there's some AKAs out there. Put your little skiwis out there, pink and green.
Hey,
Support your
we good. We
sister.
good. Thank you.
And shout out to Judge Yolanda Parker Smith
Yes.
for being Superior Court Judge in DeKalb County for betting on herself, with not having no money, no, just grassroots, and beating an incumbent that was in there for years that didn't look like her. We put her in there because we bet on her. She bet on her. Shout out to her. Shout out to all the. Shout out to my Masonic brothers, Japalage, Prince Hall, New York, number 55. My Prince Hall Masons. I love y'all.
We love you too. And thank you again. And thank you to everyone that listened to us for 96 minutes
96
on Wednesday.
minutes.
On a Wednesday in September.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for allowing me this platform, and thank you for letting me step out of my comfort zone and having a conversation with you. I'm very private, as we talked about, and I don't let too many people in to me. And I thank you for allowing me this opportunity. God gave you the assignment. You brought the assignment to me, and I'm grateful that I was able to sit and hear the assignment that God said you was going to sit out here and you was going to tell your story, no longer sitting in the background. You're going to inspire someone who's pressing those hearts. You're going to inspire somebody who's on the who wants to be, and they're wondering and they're struggling. I thank you for giving me this. Shout out to Pretty Ricky. That's the next young man that's about to come out there and make some major things. He's Felicia Wasson. That's the next great woman there too. Shout out to Danae. Shout out to everybody. New York Giants, the Dallas Cowboys who supports us, the Green Bay Packers, the Pittsburgh Steelers, Steel City, United Pro Football Fan Club. We're doing our tailgate again soon. Thank you. I love y'all. Oh gosh. Thank you. Thank you.
Shout out to everyone that is in this world doing their damnedest every day. And shout out to everybody that's going to go to sleep tonight and wake up better tomorrow than they were today.
Amen. 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 Shout out to those people who did House in the Park. Thank y'all for keeping that going. It's good to see an eclectic group of people, black, white, gay, straight, just dancing and enjoying life, because life is a dance. Let's keep dancing.
Hey, okay. And let me tell you, when you go to Monticello's, that's what y'all doing.
Dancing. You go to Monticello, you gonna see Captain Kirk. You ain't gonna see this.
I can't wait. We're gonna talk offline, but I'll be there. I'll be there when I can.
Come on.
I promise you. But I am going to, again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Let me tell you a story really quickly. So Convos with Kaz is a concept I've been wanting to do for over a year. And I reached out to Tips Base, the first person I did with on August 25th, months ago. Never met this woman. She and I were in this mastermind academy together. I looked at her profile. I'm like, oh, she's dope. Social media, right? Oh, she's dope. Let me just reach out to her. She was like, yeah, absolutely. Months went by. I didn't say anything to her. She hits me up a month ago and was like, hey, we doing this? And I was like, I don't know if I can do this. She was like, whoa, your energy. Mind you, never met this woman in person, never spoke to her. Social media, DMs, the only correspondence we had. And she was like, no, let's do this. And I was like, you know what? Let's set this date. I said, we set the date for August 25th. We made it happen. And here we are. And you are the next person.
Wow.
And I am hoping and praying that this trajectory that I'm on will continue, because I've been reaching out to people that I just want to have an amazing conversation with and be relatable to people that are here today. And I'm just praying that they will answer the call when I make it. And I know that they will, because there are people on here that I'm reaching out to, and people that they're like, I thought she wanted me. I do, but everything in the time, because I got a plan.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I'm going to continue to listen, and I'm going to walk with people that transfer their energy with me and me to them. So.
But thank you. I have a few more shout outs. Shout out to the Wolf
Of
Pack.
course you do. Go right ahead, sir.
Shout out to the Wolf Pack from Effect Fitness, my brothers I pray with every day. We have a group text. Big J, Big Dean, boot camp spin Dean,
Yes.
Corey. Everyone know who Corey is.
Yes,
And
shout out to Corey.
Jamar. Us five brothers, we pray with each other every day. We talk to each other every day by group text. Shout out to the Wolfpack. Shout out to Yolanda with the red glasses out in Jersey. Shout out to Tracy. Shout out to everybody who is trying to believe in them and wants someone to believe in them. Shout out to those, because someone believes in you. Someone believes in you. And if you don't believe someone believes in you, someone's watching. Because there's a person named Cassandra James who was watching me for the past couple of years or the past year, seeing my trajectory and me not seeing my trajectory because I'm in the trajectory. So you never know who's watching you. So stay grounded, stay true to you, because you never know to your left or to your right or to your front and your back who's watching your journey. And that person may help you get to the next step of your journey. So shout out to you. Thank you.
Amen to that. And Curtis, I am losing my light and I cannot let anything.
I talked your battery off.
Dim my shine.
You gotta have a battery pack. What's up with that? I love
So
it.
my friend, we will talk soon.
Yes.
I wish you the best.
Thank you.
Because the best is yet to come. So to everyone else, thank you so very much. Good night, good morning, good afternoon to wherever you are listening to us from. And stay tuned, because we got things to do.
We got things to do. Number 2 will be number 1 soon. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye, everyone.